Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a big one, money. And how we think about getting it. We're starting with this image that's, well, pretty staggering.
Yeah, it really puts wealth into perspective. It asks you to picture like a circle representing $1 million,
Okay, got it. 1 million.
then 10 million, 100 million,
Yeah,
then a billion. Already hard to visualize, right?
definitely.
But then you hear that someone like Jeff Bezos, his net worth is like 117 times that billion-dollar circle.
Wow, 117 billion. It just sounds unreal, especially when you think about, everyday life for most people.
Exactly. Maybe you're listening, you've got a job, maybe you went to school for it, but you're dealing with debt, student loans, credit cards.
Yeah, savings might be small, cost of living feels sky high. It's easy to feel like you're just not making enough, that the whole thing is kind of stacked against you.
That feeling is super common. You see that kind of massive wealth and you think, oh, they got lucky or they were born rich. Maybe even they cheated.
Right, and it makes your own goals, like paying off the mortgage, traveling, not worrying about bills, feel almost impossible, like a distant dream.
The game feels rigged. But what if the way most of us were taught to think about getting wealthy, what if it's just wrong?
Okay.
What if there's actually like an underlying structure, maybe even a kind of equation or science to how real wealth is built?
A science. Interesting. A way that doesn't mean you give up on paying off the house or seeing the world.
That's the idea presented. A path that definitely takes work. A meaningful struggle, as it's put, but one that could lead to real freedom.
And that's what we're diving into today. We're unpacking this different perspective on money, on wealth creation, and what it might mean for achieving, financial liberty.
So if our common understanding is maybe flawed, where do those flawed ideas come from?
Good question. The material we looked at suggests it starts early upbringing, our environment, even the school system, which often teaches us how to get a job, but not really how money works.
Yeah, we learn job skills, but not wealth skills. And that leaves us open to, well, stereotypes.
Ah, right, like the Hollywood version of the rich person.
Exactly. Evil, backstabbing, entitled, corrupt. It asks, have you kind of bought into that picture?
It's easy to do, gives you someone to blame, but the numbers tell a different story, don't they?
They really do. One report found that like 68% of the world's ultra-wealthy people with $30 million plus were actually self-made.
68%, that's huge.
And think about the names mentioned. Warren Buffett, Howard Schultz from Starbucks, Oprah Winfrey, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Sarah Blakely. These aren't people who just inherited fortunes. Many started with very little.
So they clearly figured something out that goes against that stereotype. What is it? The material suggests our usual approach is the problem.
It calls it the two-dimensional equation, the one we mostly learn. Money equals your salary from your job.
Get educated, get a good job, get paid. That's the track.
Right. But the huge flaw is that equation ties your income directly to your time.
And time. Well, that's the one thing you can't make more of. Once it's spent, it's gone.
Exactly. Let's use their example. Say you earn $20 an hour, 40 hours a week. If you saved every single penny, which is impossible, but just for argument's sake,
Okay.
how long to hit $1 million? Nearly 24 years.
24 years. And that's before taxes, food, rent, anything. Plus inflation eating away at it.
Right. The tough reality is, with that kind of income structure, becoming a millionaire usually means getting old, living super frugally, and, well, you've traded decades of your life, your most valuable asset, for it. You're limited by the clock.
So if trading hours for dollars isn't the path to serious wealth, what did these self-made people understand differently?
This is where it shifts. The idea is, in our system, you get paid based on your perceived value.
Perceived value. Okay,
Yeah.
perceived by whom?
By the market, by consumers, by the people willing to pay for something.
Ah, okay. Like the football player example. They make millions not just because they work hard, but because a huge market sees value in watching them play, buying jerseys, etc.
Exactly. The market decides the value. It's not always about pure physical effort.
They compare a cleaner working really hard physically, sweating,
To an accountant who maybe spent years studying, learning complex rules, and can save clients thousands. The cleaner's work is valuable, of course, but the market perceives the accountant's specialized skill as higher value, often because it's seen as less replaceable and has a bigger financial impact for the client.
I see. So perceived value drives the pay scale. But wait, even the accountant, they're still mostly trading time for money, right? There's a limit to how many hours they can work or clients they can bill.
Good point. They hit a ceiling too. Which brings us to what this material calls the real path, the actual wealth equation.
Okay, let's hear it. What's the secret sauce?
It starts incredibly simple. If you want money, solve problems.
Solve problems.
That's it. Money flows to solutions. Every time you buy something, you're paying someone for solving a problem you had, needing food, wanting entertainment, fixing a leaky faucet.
And the bigger the problem you solve, or the more people you solve it for.
The bigger the potential financial reward. Solve $1 million problem, you can make millions. Solve $1 billion problem. Yeah, well, you see where this is going.
Like the Amazon example. They solve the problem of inconvenient shopping, limited selection, waiting for deliveries.
Huge problems for millions of people. $1 billion problem. And Jeff Bezos was, as they put it, rewarded favorably by the market for providing the solution.
So it's kind of counterintuitive if you've just been chasing money directly.
You've been chasing the effect, not the cause. Don't chase money, chase problems. Or rather, chase solutions to problems.
Okay, but how do you find these big problems? Do you need some genius invention?
Not necessarily. It
Yeah.
suggests you just need to listen. Listen to what people around you complain about.
What frustrates them? What do they wish existed? What's inconvenient?
Yeah. Is there something people are constantly annoyed by? Then ask, can I create a solution for that?
Yeah.
And crucially, is it a problem enough people care about that solving it is actually worthwhile?
Finding a problem worth solving. Step one. But you said there's more to the equation.
Right. Step 2 is just as vital. Your solution needs to be scalable,
Scalable, meaning
it can reach and help a lot of people without you having to put in proportionally more of your own time for every single person.
okay, give me an example.
A single local restaurant isn't really scalable. It's limited by its physical location, how many tables you have.
Right. Or like being a yoga teacher, charging by the hour, your income is capped by the number of hours you can physically teach.
Exactly. But what about a restaurant franchise? Now you can expand to many locations. That's scalable.
Or the yoga teacher creates an online course. They record it once.
And thousands, maybe millions, can buy and watch it anytime, anywhere. The value is delivered over and over without the teacher needing to be there each time. That's scalable.
So the key is breaking the link between your time and the income generated.
Precisely. Software is another great example. Build it once, sell it infinitely online. It decouples your time from the revenue. You need systems, processes, maybe automation, or eventually employees to make the scalable solution work without you doing everything.
It keeps coming back to serving the market, solving their problem effectively.
Always. The market ultimately decides if your solution works and is worth paying for.
So you find a problem, create a scalable solution, build a business. What then? What's the end game, according to this view?
2 main routes, usually. You keep running the successful business, or you cash in, you sell it, an acquisition.
Like Instagram getting bought by Facebook? Or PayPal selling to eBay?
Yeah, those are huge examples. Elon Musk made, what, $165 million from that PayPal sale? That's where the big payoff can happen for those who build and then sell.
Or you keep running it, maybe you love it, maybe you think it can grow more, or maybe it runs somewhat passively.
Right. Either way, you solved a big problem scalably, and the market rewarded you. But then the material asks a deeper question. Was the money itself really the point?
What was it then?
Freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah. For most people who go through that intense process, the real goal wasn't just piling up cash. Money is just a tool. The goal was the freedom that money provides.
Freedom to choose how you spend your time. Do what you want, when you want, without worrying about the cost.
Exactly. Contrast that with being tied to a salary, worrying about bills, limited vacation days, stressing about retirement, maybe putting dreams on hold because you can't afford them.
It brings it back to time, doesn't it? Controlling your most valuable, non-renewable resource.
It really does. And it leaves you with some sharp questions. Is spending most of your waking hours on a job you maybe don't love just to earn that paycheck truly the best use of your limited time?
Is life just work, home, sleep, repeat? How many more hours slip away like that?
Or do you feel that pull towards something else, towards that liberty? If you do, the core message is clear. Stop chasing the money itself.
Chase the problems instead. Find big ones, create scalable solutions. That's presented as the equation not just for wealth, but for freedom.
And it finishes with one last thought for you to chew on. Even if you achieve that financial freedom through this meaningful struggle, does that automatically guarantee happiness or fulfillment?
Ooh, that's a big one. Maybe that's a whole different equation.
Could be. Definitely something to think about on your own.
So, If digging into these ideas, how wealth actually works, the value of time versus money, the path to freedom, if this resonates with you and you want more deep dives like this,
Now, there's an easy way to stay connected.
yeah, if this conversation sparked something for you, make sure you subscribe. That way you won't miss our future explorations. We'll be right here for the next deep dive.